Hey, what's up? It's the normal playing guy. Easy A Janemba and Easy A AGL PyCon came out. We're going to be focusing on Janemba. This came out with LR PyCon, right? LR PyCon, a bit laughable, really. Don't get me wrong, great unit, but just not what I was expecting from an LR. But sure, Janemba's come out in this, right? When this guy came out, right, he was a little bit and because he needed this. He either needed one or the other, or ideally both. To get 2 rainbow orbs was one thing, to get 4 type spheres was one thing, but to get both was really, really difficult. And when he transformed into Super Janemba, he lost guard, which made him worthless, or rather he had it for the turn, but it made him worthless. So let's see what we get now. So we're at 3 key, 170%. And he has all these guards of it, basically guards, 2 or more rainbow damage reduction, and raise defense for the turn, 30% buff, right? So let's have a look. Now we are 3 key, 180%, and you get your extreme class there. Okay, so that's fine. So now we go from 120 to 180. We still guard, but now we have an additional damage reduction of 50%. And extreme class allies 2 key 30%. So you get that. What was it before? Yeah, okay, so he basically has everything. Slap bang, a little bit more damage reduction, but he has everything prior before. So that him is basically fixed. That is essentially him. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's him when he should have come out. 3 or more off any type key spheres, so it's a little less. Corroded body and mind or uncontrollable power. You get no key, but you get 30% to stats. You see, you should have at least included 1 key there, right? Launch an additional attack, 70% chance to super. We now go to stack attack. So it's still the defense, but now you stack attack. Okay, interesting. For a defensive build unit, that's probably the wrong way round. Right, 1 rainbow key sphere, so lessened again. Bonus bonus defense and increased damage reduction. So you're coming in with 80% damage reduction, and you're going to be having 180, and then you're going to be nearly tripling this. This is ridiculous. So he is defensively powerful, don't get me wrong, right? Every attack you end up receiving, you do get 20% attack, up to 5, but you lose damage reduction. Interesting. So you lose 50% damage reduction, which means you lose this by the fully built up. I mean, it's offset by both of this. You get this and this. So you're always going to be having, the worst case scenario, you're going to have damage reduction. But I suggest then you'd probably end up transforming before that, right? So it's the basically it's the means to, because it's only 5, it's still only 5 attacks. So you're only going to lose 25% damage reduction before you can transform. But you are coming out the gate with 80. So to lose 25% and then transform is not the world of deal, is it? I think the only downside, there's 2 downsides to this, right? Stream class allies get 2 key here. That's brilliant because there's bugger all here. But I'd say that's wrong, right? You might as well, if you're going to go down the support route, at least chuck a key in there. At least 1, right? Because then you got 3 key built in. And seriously, that makes a world of difference having that 1 extra. It's all well and good giving stats, but neither of this is going to be a particularly great thing. So, I mean, it's all great, but you can't, I mean, to be fair, right, you run him on these 2 teams ideally anyway, right? There are other categories he works in, movie bosses, yes, but you are going to find unstoppable power and corroded body and mind in there anyway. So, it's not the end of the world, but I would have liked to have seen that. And I guess as well, because it's a defensive unit with all this damage reduction, this should have been swapped. It's all well and good you stack attack, but really you should have stacked defense, raised attack, right? That would have been more ideal. But yeah, as a defensive unit, it still works out really well. Right, we'll quickly transform because there's not much more. So when you transform, what did he have prior? 180%, changes key spheres. He had guarded only for 1 turn, and then he had a 50% chance to dodge. So he was actually weaker in this form, which is weird. Now we have 200%, so a slight increase. We randomly change key spheres to any other one type of key sphere that allows you to get the 3. He does change AGL to rainbow specifically, and I guess it's hard to know if this is going to be rainbow as well. It's hard to know. So in this point, I think it's trying to showcase you are going to be able to get 3 of one type and a rainbow orb. You do have guard period, and you also maintain 50% chance to dodge. See, like, basically this should have been, what, 2021 he came out? This should have been it. 3 or more of the type key spheres, you get double your stats and a guaranteed super attack. Your super attack greatly stacks attack, and then you get a 30% buff. Again, attack is one thing, but with this defensive unit, should it not be the other way around? Granted, he would be extremely broken because he had greatly raised defense. He would build up defensively very, very quick. But to think about it, he's kind of going to be at a limiting factor. Yeah, you get this, but because, well, let's keep reading. 1 or more rainbow key sphere, an extra 30% to dodge. So you are coming out the gate with 80%. Before you attack, you have an additional 30%. Doesn't appear you lose any. So you are going to have only 30% there. Okay. After you dodge, you perform a crit. So every time you dodge, you get the crit on the next attack. Okay. When you attack with 12 or more key, 250% to stats. So you're nearly quadrupling. Right, that is insane. Okay, so stat-wise, he's looking great because at 55% with all these additional 250s and 200s, it's not bad. It's serious attack. It's going to ramp up pretty quick. You have 1 dupe. There we go. Won't be surprised if people having rainbow because it is 2021. So you've been playing for a few years. Probably got him rainbow, or at least one of like this tree even, or something like that. But he's pretty strong actually. That beats, I think actually beats LR Pycon really. The problem is defensively he's kind of stuck. There's no additional, right? There's no build up. You have guard and you have extra stats, right? So you're going to be attacking and you're going to have 250 off the 200. Granted, 3 or more type key spheres, and you're going to end up doubling your stats that you start with, so that's great. 30% chance to dodge along with this is great, but your damage reduction, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because, like, offensively he's going to keep getting stronger, but defensively I don't think it's enough damage reduction, and I think they should also have been because that's greatly stack attack, and that's just still 30%. Yeah, at the very least, you should have made that greatly stacked greatly raised defense. Never mind the stack, right? I think perhaps when they tested him, he was perhaps too powerful, having like 50% and maybe greatly raised in defense. I think he would have been too powerful, but isn't that not the point? These easy A's are supposed to make him beast. Man, he's super easy A in a handful of years. He's got to be insane. But yeah, no, he's good. But I feel like, because basically this should have been, and then like all of this. Are you telling me his easy A is going to give you only this? Okay, it is a guaranteed super attack, right? But again, it's not a lot. How would you build this guy? It's difficult. You could go crits. Oh no, maybe not. Could go no. See, no point putting dodge on. I mean, you could go additional because you will hit harder. Could go crits because his only other means of critting is every time he dodges. So sure, right? He only loses that before receiving an attack. Actually, that's before an attack. So in slot 1, he only gets it, and then you attack, and then you lose it. Oof, that's rough. Yeah, he's good, But why does he feel disappointing? So, shocking speed, brutal beatdown, metamorphosis, fear, faith, and so on. Big bad bosses helping out. So, with that metamorphosis and big bad bosses, that's an insane amount of stats that you're going to be getting. Transformation boost, corroded, movie bosses, for sure. I don't know about accelerated battle, but for sure the rest, right? Huge defensive links. LR Janemba is really good. You can definitely partner him up. Super easy this guy. Yeah, okay, he's pretty solid. So Janembas are looking pretty good. You can throw a couple of them on and they could be a very good slot one. For sure in fat form, he's going to be pretty decent, right? Having that extra damage reduction, yes, you do lose it, but you can allow him to absorb some of the most dangerous of blows to build up. There are some events, like some of that magnificent fighting battle. Those events are straight off the bat really powerful. And then this would allow you basically just to absorb some of those blows. But at some point you will be transforming. When you're transforming, as I say, it's not bad. You get stronger, but you're not necessarily defensively. But again, the people he works well with, it's a pretty robust team. So like super easy, easy A, yeah, pretty good. I imagine a super easy A is not far from. Most of these are actually pretty robust, right? So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Good, but no cigar. A bit off. But, you let me know what you think. Is he good? Am I being a bit too critical? We'll see. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and bye-bye.